Welcome to O'Talkin' with Dave. Coming to you from his palatial fortress in Sin City, where what happens in Vegas is talked about everywhere. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? I hope you're top shelf, because I am. This guy. So today, we're going to talk about a topic that I'm interested to hear your feedback. I've heard several different requests, comments that have to do with this topic, and I'm not going to hit it dead on because it made me think of something else. But at times, you may think this is about religion, and it is. However, it's about so much more. It's about faith. So what do you think of when you hear the word faith? It's one of those words that's thrown around a lot. But you can have faith in people, you can have faith in God, you can have faith in leadership, you can have faith in yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. But this faith that I'm talking about, it's more powerful because it's tested. Faith that is not tested, is that really faith? I don't know. Anyone can claim they have faith when, the skies are blue and the birds are singing, or that paycheck is steady. The real measure comes when that storm hits, when your foundation shakes, and when life doesn't just unfold the way that you planned. The old saying says, faith untested is merely an opinion. So think about that. Think about that. It has to be tested every now and then. And it's not always a bad thing. When I think of tests, we automatically go back to our school days. I had friends that, I really didn't have friends. I knew people that 2 weeks before the test, the exam was coming, they would start studying. I'm more of a crammer. I'm a night before guy, probably late the night before. You rewrite your notes, you do whatever works for you, and then you're tested. Sometimes it shows how much you retain. Sometimes it shows how good are you at taking tests. I know people who were very smart, but they didn't test well. Something happened to them. And I think that's true with faith too. However, you've got to be tested. I played tennis in college. I was not a collegiate tennis player. I was not that caliber. However, I played. I tell a lot of stories. I've learned a lot from sports. And so I'll use those analogies. I had a neighbor I like badminton too. I had a neighbor in San Diego who put a badminton net up in their backyard. And I played badminton in college. And loved it. Pretty good at it. It's similar to tennis, little differences. But anyway, they put that up and then they invited me over and we get back there and play. But I haven't played in, my goodness, what was college? Almost 40 years ago. Hello. I hadn't played since. We played, took a break, got a beverage of some sort. We're talking and her name's Allie. She said, I thought you'd be better. Oh, you got me. Yeah, it hurt. You know why? And I sucked. It was horrible. It was bad. It was bad badminton. But the thing is, I hadn't played in so long. I had faith in my ability as a tennis player or a badminton player. I had more faith than I had ability because I hadn't played. I hadn't tested it. I'm telling you, I failed that test. It was pretty bad. But anyway, it was just my opinion. Other people's opinion of me was, okay, he must be good. I was untested. So the dictionary version of a definition of faith, it's complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Yeah, okay, I got you. It's pretty sterile, though. I think it goes a lot deeper. I know it goes a lot deeper. And I think it's more important than that. Yeah, complete trust. Okay. All right. It's a lot deeper. It's not intellectual agreement. Faith is not. It's a commitment under fire. Because remember, all of the things that we can have faith in, and we'll go through a bunch of those, but that's a very personal thing too. To give your faith to something or someone, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. And if someone has faith in you, you should cherish that. But to go deeper, let's talk about 5 characteristics of true faith. True faith. One is trust without proof. Belief that survives doubt. I don't know. I don't know about that, but I'm going to have faith in it and I'm going to try it. I think first time you jump out of an airplane, I believe that parachute's going to open. I hope the guy that folded it and put it in there and attached all this stuff, when you jump out of that plane, that is trust without full proof, because this particular parachute's never opened before, but trust without proof. Yeah, maybe you, with a person, you go back to their record, but trust without proof. The indications are you can be trusted. The indications are that chair won't collapse when I sit in it. The indications are when I flip that light switch, the electricity happens and the light comes on. I don't have proof of that, but I trust it. Also, another characteristic would be resilience under pressure, toughness under pressure. Yep. Still standing when life's trying to push you down, knock your feet out from under you. That takes faith. That takes toughness and resilience. Consistency in your actions. Living what you say you believe. I don't have faith in a hypocrite. If they say one thing and do another, no, I don't have faith in that person. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. So consistency in your actions. Courage when things are uncertain. Acting when the answers aren't here, man. I don't know. But I'm not going to back down. I'm going to face this test. That's proof of faith. Also, hope that perseveres. And not, I hope, that's a verb, the noun, hope. Expecting the best even when you've lost, when you've experienced loss. There's something there. There's something there. Those things, trust without proof, toughness under pressure, consistency in your actions, courage in uncertain times, and hope that perseveres even during loss, that shapes the faith I'm talking about. It's not just, I got faith in you. No, I got faith in you. Faith is a lot of things, like a lot of things, in that when you don't have it, when there's an absence of faith, that's when you really notice it's missing. And some of these things, not having it is so loud. For example, peace of mind. Peace of mind. When your mind is kind of like an English muffin. Yep, delicious, by the way. Toasted with some butter to reach in every little nook and cranny. Oh, I don't eat those enough. Why don't I eat English muffins more often? Just about everybody has them. I don't have any. Anyway, sorry about that. Just like that butter gets in every nook and cranny and makes it delicious, when you don't have peace of mind, they're voids. You got to fill your mind with positive things, because when you don't, doubt and anxiety will fill every nook and cranny, just like that butter in an English muffin, only in a bad way. You got to fill your mind with things that give you peace and give you optimism, because without peace of mind, anxiety will fill every void. Okay? Without faith, you don't have peace of mind. Direction. We just drift around. I don't know where I'm going. I have no direction. Faith gives you a compass to know the direction you go in. You may not know what's there. You may not know what's around the next corner. However, faith is what will lead you. And without faith, you have no direction. You believe anything, or you won't believe anything. Either way, you don't have any direction without faith. The resilience, I know I say that a lot, but I say either that or toughness. Without faith, you're going to quit faster when you're shaken, when something hits you. It's okay to stop. It's not okay to quit. Without faith, you're going to quit faster because you don't really you have no direction. You have no peace of mind. You have no courage. You're going to quit faster. And other people, you're going to trust other people less. Every relationship cracks to some degree without faith, or you're stuck with bad relationships. But you're going to trust in others less, and they're going to trust in you less without faith. And then almost like a direction, but purpose. Without faith, you have no purpose. Nothing feels like it's worth the effort. Why? What's the use? I have no peace of mind. I have no direction. I'm not tough anymore. I don't trust anybody. People don't trust me. What's the use? So all of those things, when faith is gone and those things are gone, wow, that's loud. That is very loud. So it's important. Faith is not only good for you, it's good for those around you. And it's not just good. It is necessary. 70% of people reported their deepest personal growth came during hardship. Not comfort. It was during hardship. Learning the lesson. Learning lessons and losing or loss of any kind or failure in a certain area, that is when the learning happens. And if you don't learn from it, you're probably going to do it again, or it's going to happen again. But 70% of people realize that. And that question, what did this test or this loss or this failure teach me that I would not have learned otherwise? That is a key question, and it shows, okay, that's why I was tested. That's why I failed. That I came out of the test stronger. Maybe I passed the test. It was great. My faith was strong. I proved that to myself and others. You can still learn something from it. But most people, almost 3/4 of the people said, biggest personal growth came through the hardship. So what are some ways that we're tested? And I want you to be able to, almost like a purple car, understand in the moment that you're being tested. Oh, it's a test. It's a test. Something as simple as at work, the gossip in the break room or around the water cooler. Are there water coolers anymore? I don't think so. Maybe. But people are talking and there's some juicy gossip. And you've got an update. You could come in here and be a gossip hero right now. But you don't. You resist because that something was told you in confidence and you're not going to give it up. You were tested and you passed. Maybe it's keeping a promise. I said I'd be there and I was there when I said I was. Even though I had this trial over here, it would have been easier for me she would understand if I didn't show up. I'll just text her and say I can't make it. It'd be easier on me. Nope, that's a test. Yep. Something, believing in yourself. You failed miserably. At badminton, I kept playing. I got better. But I didn't stop. I believe I've got the ability. I can do this. That's a little one. Hey, but it builds. I tell you one at work would be trusting in a leader when their decisions don't make sense. Many times. And this is earned, but just to jump right in with all of your other people and just, that's crazy. Why the heck are we doing this? This doesn't make sense. Okay. Instead, no, I've followed this guy for a while, and he makes his decisions based on facts, and based on facts we don't know. And I trust him. I trust that he's doing what he thinks is the right thing. And this is a real person, real situations. And most of the time later on, I found out why that decision was made, even when it didn't make sense. Yeah, but I trusted that person. And he trusted me because I was there for him. He appreciated my loyalty. It was so many times raising kids. I can't tell you how many times I said, look, I don't know what to do, but I'm the dad. I got to make a decision. What I think is best is this. And whether my kids trusted me or not, I trusted sometimes my gut. I trusted, which was ample at most of those times. But also I trusted just all in all the right thing. Wear the white hat. Do the right thing. Don't do the shortcut. Do this. I had faith in my instincts. I guess instincts and guts the same thing. But also I had faith when I'd look back at my parents, or I look back at other things, or I'd look at other people I knew when they would make decisions. And maybe it didn't turn out very well. I don't want that to happen to me. So whatever. Sometimes it's that. It's holding your values when somebody else is maybe mocking you. That's a test. Nope, I'm going to stick by it. Staying loyal to a spouse when tempted. And temptation's not just to cheat on her. It would be to not lie, some other kind of betrayal, to not leave, to, I don't know, just it can be even little things with a spouse. You're both on a diet, so when I'm in the airport, I'm not going to get a Cinnabon. Staying loyal. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering stuff. It's little tests. Notice it. That is a test. Believing in yourself when you sent out 100 resumes and got not one reply. Or believing in yourself in an interview to cover a topic that needs to be hit head on. Because if you aren't completely truthful or you skirt it masterfully and you get the job, it's going to come out. All right. There are little things around that. But also, faith in your health. Even when you're having setbacks. Faith in your plan. Being optimistic when the bills are here and the income is here. Holding on to some optimism. Keeping confidence. Keeping confidence in your abilities. Even when everyone else is negative. And then just belief when everything is going wrong. And that's more than optimism or confidence. That's where faith gets very personal, and any kind of faith, in a belief that this is the path. Centuries ago, faith was tied almost exclusively to religion. And I think people still think of that. Now, there are so many religions and so many spiritual beliefs now that faith can be a part of. But today, I think when people talk about faith, it could be faith in technology, faith in AI, faith in our abilities to resist AI for some people, faith in government. That's a tough one. After COVID, faith in science. Faith in science. Faith in people and what they're saying. Faith in markets, like the stock market and money markets, and have faith in investments. Faith in medicine. A lot of people hurting out there. A lot of people going through some stuff, and they believe, they have faith that treatments are going to come along, or if they take this treatment or this medicine or have this surgery, they have faith in that doctor, in the technology, in the medicine, in their body, in their determination. There you go. It's belief. Faith in anything that is never tested, it's not really yours. I have faith. If it's never been tested, no, it's borrowed faith. But once it's tested, and the pressure cooker comes along, it's reality. It's mine. I own it. And it's building something in me. So don't run from the test. Because you're going to be so much stronger. So I named all of those things that when you don't have faith, you don't have those things. The courage, the peace of mind, all of that. And it's loud. However, when you do have faith, you're so much stronger. Your grit, endurance, determination is through the roof. You have what you need. And it's hard to build it any other way other than making it through the test, the trial, the storm, whatever that is. Also, we said when you don't have faith, you don't have trust. When you do have faith, it is a really deeper relationship with yourself, because you know what you can do, you know what you've endured, but also with other people. When you don't trust other people, they don't trust you back. But with this faith and this grit and determination, the ability to face the test, your relationships are going to be so much deeper. And you know how I feel about that. Your relationships are everything. They are everything. And you're going to be so much more emotionally stable. You're going to be strong. You've been through it, man. I've been through the rain. I got my peeps, and I'm emotionally strong. You're not going to shake me. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be a good counsel for someone. Or I'm going to trust someone to be good counsel for me. You're going to have courage that is going to allow you to take some risks. I'm not talking about crazy stuff. Maybe I am. I don't know. But without faith, you don't have any courage. What's the use? Faith fuels that courage so you can take risks. And that could be something as simple as having a different opinion in a meeting and speaking up. You believe something absolutely opposite. All right. However, my faith in myself and this idea, it gives me the courage to speak up. It's not going to be popular, but it's right. I believe that. Or, I don't know, all kinds of things for courage, to go out and to learn a new language, to join a new group, to take on a new hobby, all of those things, to speak to somebody that you see all the time and you've never talked to them. Have that courage to go up, hey, I'm Dave. How's it going? I see you all the time and I've never even introduced myself. I'm Dave. That seems simple. It's courage. You know why? You're going to get more out of that. That person, they're in your life. You see them all the time. It could be a barista. It could be somebody that's in the same Starbucks you go to all the time. They're always over in the corner working on something. And you don't have to be creepy. Just be honest. But it takes courage to do that. That person may change your life, or you may change theirs. You got to have faith in that. And then also, and this may be the best byproduct of tested faith, it produces gratitude that you would not have otherwise. It produces gratitude once that storm passes. That test can be protocol. That test could be a disaster that you're going to have to make it through, a loss, a devastating loss. Gratitude that it wasn't devastating is not possible unless you go through the storm. Gratitude is proof of faith. I love it. And see, that's why all of those things, it's so much deeper than complete trust. No, it's a belief in yourself, in others, in something bigger, something grander. Yeah. But it's not magic. It's not poof, woo, and it appears. It's not a pill you take that, it's a faith pill. Fantastic. It's fantastic. I'll take my faith pill, my brain pill, and my testosterone this afternoon, and oh my, I'll have faith that the other two are working. But it's not magic. It's not magic. It's a muscle. Faith is a muscle you have to build, just with little things. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about a few things here. First thing is practice your faith daily. Okay, Dave, how do I do that? Trust something. Test it. Test your own faith. Keep your word. Like some of the stuff I said earlier, keep your word. Do what you say you're going to do. And you may be doing what you say you're going to do to yourself. You got a monster. What's that guy's name? Goggins, the trainer. I heard Joe Rogan talk the other day about his cold plunge. And he said, and people are talking about it because he does the hardcore. I think it's 3 minutes at 38 degrees, something like that. And he says, yeah, I do it, but I almost don't do it every day. Almost. And that Goggins guy, he does ultra marathons, and he runs every day. But he said, someday I'll stare at those shoes for 20 minutes, thinking I don't want to. Test yourself. Do what you say you're going to do for other people, but also for yourself. Keep your word. That's a small test every day. If you're on a diet, okay, I'm not going to do whatever. Test it. Don't go to the McDonald's drive-thru. That's brutal. That is brutal. You're going to quit drinking. Okay. Test it. There are ways. But create that small trust every day. Second thing, look how you've done on past wins. Look at the times you made it through, man. I'll talk about it soon. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. How do I say this? I have been tested recently. I didn't test myself. I didn't know. But I am so proud of myself because I made it. I made it through. And I learned things I wouldn't have learned otherwise. I have clarity on so many things that I would not have had otherwise. And I can look at that, reflect on that. Wow. That is a faith builder right there. I can make it through anything. Maybe not unscarred or unshaken to some degree, but my faith will not be shaken because I went through that. So think back at times when you made it through. Don't think back to relive the pain. Think back to relive the lesson. It's fantastic. So test yourself daily. Get these small little trust doses. Reflect on past wins. Expose yourself to challenge. Don't run from it. Don't go to a situation where it's not going to be a challenge. That's not a test. That's avoidance. And avoidance is horrible. That's not doing anybody any good. So expose yourself to these challenges. Try something new. Speak up. The things I said earlier around get yourself out of your comfort zone. Take a risk. It's important. Okay. Surround yourself with believers. Faith is contagious. Now, believers, I'm not talking necessarily about people who believe the same religion you do. I'm talking about people who have been through something and made it, whose faith is strong. It's not automatic in everything, but in some things they're very strong in their faith. I spoke to a group a couple of weeks ago. And it's a group of men they've had it rough. They have different addictions. They have different things in their life that got them to where they are now. They made bad choices. And their leader contacted me and said, look, I talk to them every week. I think they need somebody else. Break it up a little bit. Can you come talk to them? Yeah, I can come talk to them. The challenge is going to be is getting me to stop. And I said that just being funny. He said it usually goes an hour. When I do an O-Talk, I usually have 30, 45 minutes prepared, and then we do a lot of Q&A. And through that Q&A, it's more valuable than what I'm saying, I'm telling you. So I thought that's what we'll do here. I was there almost 2 hours. And while I was going to encourage, man, the stories they told and the kind words to me, they made me feel very comfortable in one of the group. And they talked about what they had been through and how they got through it. And their past gave them such faith in their abilities, yet they were so vulnerable around certain things. And so it was, long story short, these men were believers. They were believing in the human spirit and perseverance and toughness. Belief is the key. And so surround yourself with believers, like-minded people who believe in you, people that you believe in. That association is going to make you so much stronger. And then how many times have I said, you've got to have a crew, positive people around you that lift you up, make you want to be better, listen to you when you're down, tell you when they're down, go back and forth. So surround yourself with believers. And then the last thing, as far as ways to build faith, you've got to anchor yourself in truth. The truth. Not social media, not the news that, depending on what side they lean, they're going to tell you their version of that story. No. Truth. There are people who have lied to themselves for so long, they believe it now. They'll make up some crazy story that meets their dysfunction and makes them feel better about it. Keeps them from facing reality. Let me tell you something. You need to face reality, because unless you do, you can't affect it the way you need to. So anchor yourself in truth, whatever that means. Reading something, understanding what you believe, and done the O-Talk on the 10 non-negotiables, on my truths. I got more than 10, but those 10 non-negotiable. I know that, and it's shaped my life. If you meditate or pray, whatever you do to be okay with where you are, and where you are may not be a good spot, but you don't know how to get to that good spot if you don't know where you are. You want to go out into nature and sit on a rock and be quiet. I assure you, something will speak to you. That's important. You can call that meditation, you can call it whatever. Sometimes you've got to get away from the noise to be able to hear yourself. So many times. That's why I was driving. I went to northern Nevada. I had a 6.5 hour drive. I know I could have flown, but I needed the drive. And I lost the signal. I had nothing. So Spotify was gone and just silence other than road noise and me singing show tunes. But after a while, that silence, I started noticing things on the drive and appreciating things. And then when the signal came back in, boom, scared me to death. I turned it off. I liked the silence. So anchor yourself in your truth, not your truth, the truth. You don't get to decide the truth. I'm sorry, all you new age people, that this is my truth, is a truth. Anchor yourself in that. Do whatever it takes. Don't believe someone else's version of your truth based on their past. So, those things. Practice small trust daily. Reflect on past wins. Expose yourself to some challenges, some tests. Take the test. Surround yourself with believers, and then anchor yourself in truth. Those things are going to build a faith unshakable. And people are going to see that. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to have more courage. But people are going to see that, and you're going to draw these people. And they will appreciate you so much. And you'll appreciate them back. So a couple of quotes I saw that I liked. Faith is taking the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. Woo! Been there, done that. Faith is not belief without proof, but trust without reservation. Trust it. I trust him. I trust you, man. Yeah, okay, let's go. I don't have any proof, but I know you. And if you say, this is what we need to do, I trust you. This is a person, it's an idea, it's yourself, whatever it needs to be. Yep, there's different things. People who have strong faith in something are so much more dependable in a crisis, so much tougher when they're in the storm, but also they tend to build faith from the experience. And I think we've seen that. Win or lose. Faith is not about passing the test. It's about taking the test. You're going to learn something. So, go back to the whole premise. Untested faith, it's a theory. Yeah, that chair will probably hold me up. Okay. Sit in it. Sit in it with a beverage. The cost of it not holding you up, it's drastic. So, if you don't test it, it's just a theory. However, tested faith is a treasure that you take with you. You're going to get something out of it no matter what happens. So think about it. Your most meaningful relationships are the ones that have endured a struggle. I've endured a struggle. People in the service talked about their friends from way back when. They remember the details of that struggle they went through. I've had close friends that I got closer to them when one of us went through a challenge, and we were there for each other. I didn't cause the struggle. I wasn't the source of the struggle, but we went through that together, and we were closer. Marriage, times with your kids, when you get through that relationship is so close. Even when there's conflict. I can tell you, when I used to have to discipline my kids, it brought us closer afterwards. They still didn't like it. They still bring stuff up from time to time. But it showed them I loved them. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. Your most powerful beliefs are the ones you held when it was unpopular. You still held on to that. I could go along with the crowd. I could believe that. I could say that. When we in the garage, we didn't allow politics. Religion slipped in every now and then, but we didn't allow politics or religion just because those are tight times. And I had to call people down. They didn't bring it up that much, but occasionally they would. I had to call people down I agreed with for the sake of the rule, because that can lead to something really bad. But your strongest confidence is what survived failure. Because failure, we learn more from failure than we do from success. We do. Sometimes it's what not to do. Many times it's what not to do. So faith is never tested. It's like that unopened parachute. Yeah. It feels good to have it, but you only discover its real worth when you step out of that plane and you pull the cord. It's true. So let's talk about a challenge for you. Notice the test and don't run from it. Welcome it, because when faith is tested, that's when it becomes real and it's tangible. It's tangible. That's what's going to comfort you before the next test, during the next test, after that. And you're compounding the lessons. True faith is not proven by what you say you believe. You can say anything. It's revealed by what you stand for when everything is shaken. Untested faith is just an opinion. Tested faith is your legacy. Look for the test. Find the test. Take the test on everything. Anything you believe in, test it from time to time. That doesn't mean, just because you're testing it doesn't mean there's doubt there. It needs to be tested for strength. Is it still sure? All right. Thanks so much. A deep topic today, but I feel better. I feel better knowing this and saying this because it's important. Do it. Don't avoid. Test it. All right. Hit me up. David@otalks.com. Dave@otalks.com. Let me know what you think. What are your tests? What are your beliefs? How'd it go? Let me know what you learned. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on. But most of all, thanks for talking with Dave. Giddy up.